software?
Hi. Yes. Is that through the? Is it through the link?
On the way live.
All right, on the original link.
You guys should.
You get 10 seconds to confirm that it's going to be over here.
Okay, original link. Awesome. Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for being so patient with me. This was our first time going live, so this is our opportunity to now be able to expand our membership to those who are outside of this area. So we were just having a few difficulties with sound and with visuals, so I just want to thank you again. We do have some socialites that are here locally with us, so if you hear some background noise and women sitting down and women walking, just be patient with us. You know, we're just a little late and it's okay, because it's only a few minutes late, right? So, with that being said, you should be able to have an opportunity to put in comments into the YouTube live event. So that way, if you have any questions at all, you can just put it through the chat, and then our moderator will be able to answer, or at least let me know you have a question. I can read the questions, and then we can go from there. If you cannot send a question to me through YouTube Live, for those of you who received the link from me via Instagram, please feel free to just DM me, and then I'll get your question that way. Or if you text me, Sybil, if you're on, then feel free to just send me a text with the question, or just let me know, and then I can go ahead and address the technical difficulties. For round 2, we should be good. But for round 1, thank you again for your patience. And without further ado, welcome ladies who are live with us. Thank you ladies who are at home watching, and we can move on. So for today's agenda, we are going to go over a few things. So for those of you who are new to Prestige, here's the thing about Prestige. Half of our sessions are business, since we're about our business, to know what's going on with Prestige, what's new with Prestige. And then the second half is usually about whatever the topic is for that day. So today we're going to talk about Client Relations 101, but before we jump into that, we're going to go over some business with Prestige. So welcome, we're going to go over the vision and mission, we're going to talk about what's new, we're going to do a diva roll call, and that's when I ask everyone to share what's new with your business. Then we're going to go into Client Relations 101, and then we're going to talk about some save the dates. All right? All right. So, vision and mission. Prestige is all about having women come together with a strong network so that you get more information about business acumen, how to catapult your business, so that you can, as I always say, slay in your industries. So with that, I want you to always keep that in the forefront of your mind, because as we start talking about other topics, I want you to think about what's important to you, okay? We're going to bypass introductions for now, unless we have a newbie. Let's go back. Tuesday Kelly has joined us. She is now a member of the Prestige Society. Tuesday. Skip to camera 2 and get Tuesday on camera. That would be fabulous. And Greg is nodding his head, so that means he is doing that. So why don't we talk about Tuesday? You tell us a little bit about yourself, the name of your business, and also what you want to get out of Prestige.
My name is Tuesday Kelly. The name of my business is Soiree, etc. It's actually an event planning and event design business. We do mostly in love weddings, but we do other birthday parties, anniversaries. I've done nonprofit events and various different types of events that people want. What's new in my business is that I started to rethink my business. Rethink about my customer and my client, and also think about what am I giving them. So we're going to do a rebranding. Everyone, you're invited. It's going to be August 2nd. It's going to be Soiree in the Park, so it's kind of like a little teaser for right now. But we're going to do a rebranding. I am going to have Nicole come out and talk about rebranding your business and also reclaiming your business, because I think it's not just about the rebranding part of it, but it's reclaiming it, understanding now that I've done this probably approximately 8 to 9 years, I know what type of client I really want, and I want to go after that particular client. So I'm hoping that Prestige will also bring me some unity with women. Of course, everybody wants clients, but we also want to learn. I want to be coached to understand, okay, if I'm going to go and as we start talking, and as I talked to Nicole, and Danielle also knows about white glove service, and people are talking about it more and more each day, and building that white glove service and also making people feel so important and understanding what's going to go on in my business and probably in other business in the Prestige Society. So thank you, Nicole, for inviting me.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to this journey.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So since we are welcoming our new member, anyone interested in just introducing yourself to Tuesday, to those who are watching? Those who are watching too are people that know you already, so it's like Sybil online, so don't worry. And she just texted me and said that she can hear now, so that's great. So, just so that Tuesday gets an idea of who you guys are, and then also for an opportunity to see how you may be able to collaborate and work with each other.
Hello.
Awesome.
Okay, well, my name is Danielle Tyson, and my brand is Party Prima Donna. My company is Prima Donna Style Image Consulting, and basically it's an image agency, boutique agency that specializes in brand marketing, PR, fashion, and events. And to piggyback off of what you said about women and fellowship and all, and finding that right client, I'm ready for that, to specialize in that one-on-one service for the right client. Building that brand, specializing in focusing on their image for their events and different things like that. So, welcome. And I would love to be able to help you also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you for that, Danielle. Who would like to go next? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Renelle Scott, and my company is Gems Travel. I am a travel agent, and I specialize in booking reservations or vacations for couples, families. I specialize in the Caribbean, Florida, and cruises. That's my specialty. So, if you say you do event planning and some of you do weddings, I'm here to do their vacation. So, I'm just trying to, partner with other people so I can get my business out there. So, I expect to, network and see what, has to come from me.
Great. Thank you for that, Renelle. Next.
Hi, my name is Yamina Corsi. My business is Maridati Events. It stands for Stylish Modern with Elegance, and that's pretty much what I try to create for my clients. I do all types of events, same as you, but I also create my own events where it kind of gives me a way to put myself out there. So far I've had a Mother's Day event, which was last year, was very successful. This year I plan on doing a masquerade party where I will have vendors and, entertainment and things like that. So that's pretty much where I am. I do events. I'm constantly doing events. I would like to do more events, but, things go slowly as well. As it comes along, I get events. But right now I'm just trying to, get myself out there and try to get more exposure and get more clients.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Tawana Coleman. We met before, but my brand is Speak Free Communications. I do public relations. I also write, and I do brand marketing and PR. We partner with clients who want to take their businesses or their product or their services to the next level. So if you whatever you're trying to do, we can try to help you build that up and just make you more of a visible brand. We want the world to know who you are. And if you need somebody to write anything for you, I'm the person.
Thanks so much.
Look at that. So lots of support here,
Yeah.
right? So that's one of the things that we like about the Prestige Society. So thank you all for saying who you are, introducing yourself to Tuesday. For those of you, if you can chat, I don't know if the chatting feature, I'm looking for my cameraman to say yay or nay. He says no, so I don't think it's available. just yet, but for the next session, we'll make sure that it is, so that if you have questions, you can definitely type that in. And you can also introduce yourself to others while you're on the line. So, what's new? I love this. What is current and what's crave-worthy? So there is a lot of things that are going on with the Prestige Society. And, you know, I always have animations, and this is, of course, not animating for me. Great. That's all right. I will tell you myself without the animation. So there's lots of things going on with the Prestige Society. So the first thing is that we have a new website, and we have a new way that we're actually branching everything out. So in the website, you will now have more support and more information. So in the what I've been doing is actually reaching out to other women entrepreneurs and trying to figure out what is it that women like you need. And so what I was able to find is they need two things: support and information. So with that, I decided to build a website that provides just that. So what you'll have now, and maybe when we break, I'll just go and I'll show you just screenshots of it, is that we now have Pink Room TV. So those are going to be the webisodes that are going to capture the particular tips that you are interested in hearing. So some ideas or some of the things we talked about are, how do you move from having a purpose into profit? You know, how do you charge someone for something that you've been doing for your friends and family for free for so long? White glove service, 3 tips of a divapreneur, just certain things that women who are in business, who are growing their businesses, may find interesting or helpful. So that's Pink Room TV. So you go there, you'll find webisodes galore. And then I also believe in adding other things that are just going to pertain to your industry. So TED Talks will be on there. Certain YouTube series will also be on there from other brands like myself that may just give information on things that are important to you. So if it's around how do you expand your business for, for the travel industry, then you'll find that interesting. If it's for event planning, you'll find that interesting. If it's in the world of entertainment, you'll find that interesting. And if it's around brand marketing, then there's something for you. So I want to make sure that I have information or webisodes that are included that are important to the industries that you all are in, as well as how do you strengthen your business acumen as businesswomen as well. So I always say, if it's good enough for a Fortune 500, then it needs to be good enough for us as well as small business owners. So then we have Pink University. So even though we have these webisodes, I have created a curriculum around 3 subject areas so far, and we'll start adding and building onto those. So the first subject area is going to be around Small Business 101, then technology, because I always believe in the importance of leveraging technology to help you with your business, especially when it comes to streamlining processes and making things run seamlessly for your clients and for yourself. And then the third one is the Marketing 101 as well. So these are going to be a combination of articles, PowerPoint slides, white papers, information that you will need to catapult your business. I always say that I feel that sometimes we believe there's some type of glamour associated with being business owners, but the reality is if we don't strengthen our business acumen, we'll find ourselves not doing well, not being in business, and if we're not even generating real income from what we're doing, then it's not even your business, it's really just your hobby. And that's where we're trying to move to, right? So making this a really substantial stream of income for us so that we can say this is our business. So with that comes new membership plans. So I'm so thankful that Greg has, allowed us this opportunity to do this test run with streaming our sessions live. I know that the second session will be of a better quality, I'm sure, because Greg is sitting there like, oh, because the last 2 nights, the images were absolutely crystal clear, whether it was images that he showed through the screen on his TV for the slideshows to the images of what you see, so who was sitting down in the room versus who was sitting in this chair. So just because it has some technical glitches, it's not as clear and it doesn't probably feel as connected to those who are watching, but those are things that we're going to definitely get straightened out for those who are online. So for that, we'll have a Divapreneur membership, and this is really just all content, but all past content. And so that's for the person who, I won't say is playing games with their business, but I'll just say that's for the person who's just trying to test the waters and see, is this really for me? And so what we want to provide that person is information, so they can make the right decision of whether or not they want to move forward or whether or not they just want to rethink this whole thing about going into business. So with that, they get all recorded conference calls, they get blog articles, they get access to exclusive discussion boards with fellow Divapreneurs, and then podcasts. And when I show you where we're moving with the website, you'll see exactly what I mean by all of these things that they will have access to. Then the next one is the Socialite membership. So for Socialite membership, that's $49.99 per month, and what you get access to is all live events. So live conference calls. If you're in the area and you want to come to the networking events that we've had, some of the workshops that we've had, these are things that will happen with free admission. So you just come. You come to everything free. You also get access to our workshops and academies, so those are different. So we are going to talk about in the second portion of this meeting about what that looks like and exactly what I'm talking about. So you get that at 75% off with your membership discount. And then you get access to the Prestige Society membership newsletter, and then you get access to everything else, our podcasts, our conference calls, recorded conference calls. So it's all about content and support. Content and support for the Socialite membership. And then we have what we call the Elite membership. And this is $79.99 per month. And this is about support. This is about giving you the information you need, and it's about exposure. So what we want to do is we want to bring in those individuals so they can have all of their events on our event calendar. We want to make sure that people know about you. So in the newsletter, we're constantly going to push that out. We're going to support all of your events on the Prestige Society social media. This is all about exposure for you. So for those of you who are founding members, you are grandfathered into the Elite membership, because also with that you get one coaching session per month. So all of that is included. So if there are certain projects that you're working on, if there's new initiatives that are happening, Danielle can tell you we probably blew out our one coaching session per month. But that's okay, because we're trying to catapult this business to the next level. So really, for those of you who are founding members, you automatically get that enrolled in. And I think really and the mastermind power circle is going to be important too. So for the Elite membership, currently, for those of you who are part of the Pink Room on Facebook, you know that's an opportunity for you to share with others what you're doing. If you have questions, and I think that has been something that's been great too. So some women who aren't even part of the Prestige Society, who I have asked to join this particular chat room, have posted questions to really help them in their business and help them even in their corporate struggles with their day job. And so this is an area where you're able to get peer collaboration, peer ideas, and then you're able to move on to get the coaching. So give my input as well. And so what we want to do for the mastermind power circles for the women who are in the Elite membership, these are the women who want to leave their jobs. They want to leave their jobs, and they want to be able to generate close to $10,000 a month. If you want to do that, and I'm on this journey myself, so, and Danielle can speak to it, and Twyla can speak to it, but if that's what you want to do, then that's why you need to be part of a smaller group of women who are thinking like you, who are on the same level as you, and what that allows you to do is to have a place where there's creativity and innovation. And when we talk about some of the academies that we'll be rolling out, which is, I'll tell you the name, Pink Luxury Inc. Academy, that's going to be just about that. How do you move your business from shabby to chic? And how do you move it to a place where you have a legacy of excellence, creativity, and innovation? And when we start looking at luxury brands through that workshop, that's what you realize, whether it was Porsche, whether it was Louis Vuitton, whether it was, Moet. These were the places where these luxury brands, that was what they had, a legacy of excellence. So with that and creativity and innovation, we have these mastermind groups where you have these women who all think like you, who can help you generate innovation, generate the ideas to get you closer to where you want to be. But I do want to go back to the Socialite membership, just because those two memberships are really going to pertain to the women who are here. You'll see also the conference calls. So we are going to have our first conference call Monday, the 29th of June. So don't worry, I will send all of you guys that information. And what that's going to do is it's all about building upon what we learn. So we learned something in a meeting. Hi, Renelle. We have another member that just joined, so I'm so happy that she's safe and she's here and all is well. So hello. I wanted to take time out to acknowledge you. So what we want to do is build upon what we talk about in our meetings. So normally what we do is we have a topic, we talk about it, we do some work at the end of it, you go on about your way. We don't even do accountability partners anymore, right? So you just go on about your way. You either completely forget everything we talk about, or you try to apply some of the things, but it doesn't really stick. So what we want to do with moving into this space of having the conference calls as well as the meetings is to help build upon the knowledge. So whatever it is that we talk about in the meetings, we're then going to move on to and say, okay, so this is where we're going to talk about in the calls. And it explores those topics a little bit more. And I'm going to ask for you guys, it's not just me talking to you or talking at you, it is a engaged conversation where if you're having problems applying some of the things, if you have a problem with saying, hey, I don't even feel like this pertains to me, so I'm really struggling, that's the time where we talk about that, and then we find ways to actually get you to be able to apply those things. So for the things we talk about with client relations, the spreadsheet that I sent out to you all via email, that's what I want you to start working on and start applying to your business. And if you feel like something's not working, or if you feel like there's something that's an obstacle, we have those conversations and talk about how we move you to that next space so that it feels more real for you, okay? All right. Any questions at all about the memberships? If any socialite decides that she wants to move up to the elite membership, especially if it's because, you know, you want to have the coaching, and because we're still a small group, you know that the one coaching per month isn't really one coaching. You know it's really when you need me, we will sit down and do a coaching session. If you want to be a part of the mastermind power circles, because this is also where I'm going to ask you to upload certain projects so that everyone can give you feedback on what it is that you're doing. So if you're having a launch campaign and you need a test group to run this by first, that's the group that you use. If you have a flyer that you want to put out, but you know that you want to have a certain image or brand associated with the copy, do you like that?
Like
Okay.
that.
With the copy that you send out, I just learned what copy was, so please excuse my ignorance. So, you know, but if you want to make sure that if you want to be seen as a luxury brand, or if you want to be seen as a brand that is supposed to be posh, and you want to make sure that the copy that you send or the flyers that you send is actually relaying that same message, this is the group. That's the group that you're going to run that by, so they can give you some input. So if that's the kind of support that you want, you can definitely be enrolled in that, but the only addition would be is just $30 a month for that support. Okay? Any questions at all about the membership packages or anything of that nature? Remind me when we break that I want to definitely talk about the website and put it on my iPad so you can see it, and just so that you can see where we're going, the look and the feel of it. It's still being completed, but what we're shooting for is a launch date of mid-July, and we want to do an actual black tie gala for the launch party in October. So for all of my event planning divas, I'm going to need you all to help me with that, because you know we actually have someone looking for, George Banks, who helped me with the tea party with Tuesday as well. He's going to look for the space. I know Tuesday's going to help him look for the space. And then for those who, you know, that's something we want people to come out to, we would love to have media there to look at it as well. So if that's something you guys come up with, you know, that would be great. But that's what we're shooting for. And I want it to be a prestige event, so I want everyone who is part of Prestige, if there's something you feel that you can contribute to this, I welcome and encourage you to please help, because I definitely appreciate all of the talent and skills that are here in this room. So I wanted to talk about power calls and masterminds, and I don't know if any of you really have experienced any power calls on different group. But that's something where it's becoming very popular, and this is what people realize they need a platform where they pull people together and help deliver a message. So, you know, in case you really weren't sure what these power calls are that we're going to have, it's really about that. It's about that extra support. And then for your mastermind groups, this is something that it is so important. I don't know if anyone's read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, but it's somewhat, there you go. So it's all about having your mastermind groups. How do you get people, because it's all about your generation of an idea. So if you have an idea, and I don't care if your idea is as broad as I am someone that's going to be successful, I'm gonna be great, I know I'm destined for greatness. I don't even care if that's your idea. What happens is when you come into a smaller group of women who also think on that platform, you can start brainstorming ideas. I can't tell you how I have truly enjoyed the power lunches that I've had with Vernell and with Danielle, and just having those mastermind conversations where I remember when I first talked about these packages, we went from talking about the packages to now having the packages and ready to roll out. We went from talking about the packages to me actually getting a business coach to help me with the packages and launching it out. So, and I had Vernell tell me, are you crazy? You need to fix those prices. She probably said you need to fix them again. But she's like, you know, I'm thinking that. So, but those are the things where those conversations come out. And even with Danielle, like, they're like, so what do you think about this? You know, and we'll just talk back and forth. And it's not even a space where I'm really giving advice. It's really where I'm saying, well, what do you think about this? And, you know, think about it from this perspective. Does that change your perspective at all? And, you know, how about instead of having 3 things, have 2 things, or instead of 2 things, have 3? We just go back and forth. And at the end of the conversation, I know she is either feverishly writing notes, I know she is thinking about something else, because then she's sending me an email and then a text that say, check your email. So, you know, when you have that support, and when you have those mastermind groups, that generation of an idea is phenomenal, because that doesn't just stay in your head. It doesn't just stay in your notebook. It's now something that you're working towards into fruition, where that's a conversion into dollars and cents for you. And so that's what's really important, I think, for us as a, you know, as a membership organization, that we help move each other to that space. Any questions about the power calls or the mastermind groups? No? Do you think that's a positive step in the direction for us? Or
It's definitely a positive step.
Yeah, there's another power call that I've been on a few times, and you know, some people are at the bottom, some people are at the top, but just that support and that motivation, like, oh, they can do it. I just like groups because they motivate you. So I think that's good for us.
Yes, good. Thank
We're
you.
no different than anybody else. I think you can do it. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. That's because she's been pushing me in this direction. I swear, I keep saying it's 2 years ago, but I feel like it's 3. So thank you for that. Anyone else have any thoughts, questions at all? I know because we're live, you guys are being extremely timid, but don't be afraid. Talk, it's okay. I think the more comfortable you are, I think it will be more of a real experience for those that are watching. So please feel comfortable sharing your ideas and your thoughts too.
Well, you know, as you think about it, it's a diving board. Like the whole time I'm sitting here, I listen to everyone tell me what they do. I can tap on each and every one of these people and say, okay, I can do this. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like thinking, okay, there's other planners here. Why aren't we getting together? Why aren't we talking? This is not about, I think what happens is people get so caught up in competition.
Yes.
And they forget that if you work as a unit, we're better when it's 2 people than 1 people. So it's the same question, like I might call on Vernell because I do know she does events and say, hey Vernell, and me and Vernell are actually collaborating together on one of her events currently. So it's an opportunity for us to get together and connect and not be so closed off and say, oh, I don't want to talk to that person because they actually do the same thing as me. No, we don't do the same thing and we don't think the same way.
That's right.
But when we get together as a group, now we're a mastermind group.
That's right.
And we're thinking more innovative, and we're like popping off ideas with each other, and we're like, oh my God, that would work. I can see that happening.
And there's power in diversity of thought.
Yes.
And I think that's the thing that we need to embrace more. And so, because there's different experiences, frame of references that we're going to bring to the table that will make the experience more extraordinary, that could catapult the business. I always bring up, you know, Danielle and Tawana, who were 2 separate, or who are still 2 separate businesses, but when they came together and they were able to work on projects together, they're able to provide more services to a client that when they were separated, they couldn't. And I think that that's awesome that you are able to tap on certain people with skill sets. So think about it, when, you know, Danielle has a client that might need an event, great. And everyone has a special special skill set. So, you know, Tuesday's gonna tell you she loves design. She can transform a space. She loves to do design. And florals, honey, let me tell you, that is her thing. And so to be able to do that, and so now for, you know, Yamina, who's like, well, listen, I'm throwing this event and I need to be top of the line. I know I have my ideas, but if she's really great at florals, maybe there's something she can give me some tips on so I can not only learn, but maybe I can have her help me with this. So I think that's the collaborative relationships that are beneficial, and especially when you go into the mastermind groups, I know just from the conversations that I've had with some of you, we are all interested in taking our businesses to the next level. And so it's gonna really cause us to push each other to do that, because when we sit on our tails and go, well, I don't really know, then we allow the fear of success and the fear of failure to hold us back into staying status quo. So I really think that these are necessary tools that we need to catapult us forward, but I just want to make sure that you all see this as a benefit as well, since, you know, as founding members and participating members, you guys have the ability to take part in some of these things as well. All right, well, without further ado, we are going to talk about our Diva roll call. So, for all of you who are sitting here, that means if there's anything that you have worked on, I already shared all the things, well, I'll share a little more, that we've worked on, because I do have tons. It's actually quite exhausting. But whatever you worked on, whatever you have accomplished, whatever you have experienced, whatever you've overcome, since the last time we all met, I'd like for us to share that. So for me, I've been working with a business coach by the name of Adriana Langford, and I am so thankful for the opportunity to work personally with this woman. When I first, and I'll always say this, so when I first heard her name, I think I had little Taylor strapped onto me at one of Gabby's dance competitions, and I think Taylor was about 3 weeks old. And I couldn't even think about prestige. So this was what, like just 6 months ago? Okay, great. And so Talana was like, Nicole, and you need to think about A, B, and C, and you need to listen to this girl. And this girl's name is Prophet Girl. And I said, can I breastfeed? Because I couldn't even begin to think about prestige while this 3-week-old wanted some milk. So I was so thankful though for that seed that Talana planted, because later on, I'm looking at something, I see the Prophet Girl, I don't even know what I was looking at, and I started looking through her website, and I started looking at some of the marketing she had for this particular system. At the time, I thought I was only purchasing a home study system. I didn't realize that, it was comprehensive, so it had a huge binder, and it had all these tools you can use, and it had audio, so I'm thinking I'm buying a home system. All of a sudden, Adriana sends out an email saying, I have 6 slots available for women who purchase my system now to work with me personally as they go through the system. So I'm like, I bought it yesterday, but can I still be included in one of these 6 who can work with you, even though I already bought it? And thankfully, she opened up an additional spot for me so that I could work with her one-on-one. And the one thing I gotta tell you that has happened is that she has opened my eyes to how I need to push forward. And because I believe caring is sharing, that's the same information that I have shared with Danielle, the same information. Literally, I'm like, come on Tuesday, we need to talk about this. I've shared it with the other Vernell. We have 2 Vernells. Can you believe that, guys? We have 2 Vernells in our group. But the other Vernell, who is the event planner, and what has come from that has been the creation of these packages. There's also going to be a VIP package for women who don't maybe want to be a member, but want to be able to use me as a business coach. So then they'll have a 90-day opportunity to buy a package from me for that. So that's the VIP package where you can work one-on-one. And then, and that's a weekly, not a monthly thing. So we work together once a week. And then I have a signature package that I'm creating. So when I tell you, I have been writing nothing but content, and more content, I am exhausted. And then with that signature package is the Pink Luxury Inc. Academy. And that's for those businesses or brands who want to move to a luxury experience and want to get higher paying clients. And there's steps that we have to do first with our brand before we even tap into that. And even the research for creating that workshop alone has been eye-opening, because there's so many companies out there who just research luxury consumers. And so when you think about the psychology or the mental state or how those luxury consumers think, and then how it's just the basics. It really is, but we don't even deliver on the basics, and not delivering on the basics then take away from us being able to be a luxury brand. It's amazing, it's incredible. So those are the things I have been working on. It's between the website and the packages and the VIP package and the luxury ink signature package. I have been extremely exhausted, but those are the things that I have been working on. That is my diva roll call. I pass the torch. Who's next?
I'll go.
Yes.
I have also been working on packages. My goal is to take existing businesses and new businesses and basically do a revamp. So if someone comes through the door and they're an existing business, okay, we're ready to relaunch, revamp from concept to execution. But if it's a brand new company coming through the door, I would like to introduce beginning to end logo to not only finishing with a marketing campaign, but also strategically saying, okay, what does that look like in the next 5 years? And how can we keep this company going? Because that's how Fortune 500 companies go. They don't stop at marketing campaigns, but they continue on to grow their business and leverage their business. So that's my thing.
So how's that coming along? How do you feel? When are you ready to launch?
Good. My packages are now on my website.
Good.
My prices are now on my website. I feel good.
Good.
I'm ready to start my marketing campaign to push it out there.
Great.
So.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Round of applause. Great, great, great. Okay, so even if you haven't accomplished something, but there's something that you're working towards,
Right.
I want to hear it too. Even if it's an idea, we just talked about, the fabulous, and I need you to share, the fabulous one for you to share. I mean, there's stuff happening here. I want you to share. For now, I know you have something to share. And Yamina, I can't wait to hear about your stuff. So, ladies, I should see you guys chomping at the bit, like, me, I'm next. So please share, anyone. Thank you, Tuesday.
It's funny because after meeting with Nicole and, actually working with her, I found that, a lot of things happened. There's some backstory, but I found that when I went back to my backstory, I needed to change the way I looked at my business and the way I looked at my client, because that's a huge piece of the business. It's not just looking at my business and saying, that's still a pretty website. I mean, we actually have done a new logo, we've got a new logo, we got a new website up and running, but now it's to look at that client base and say, okay, what are they really looking for? What's the thing that's not getting them to place that phone call to me? And it's not really about the behind the scenes of what's on my website. People will look at it all day long, but now the question is, how are they gonna make that phone call? So I found that my best client is the clients the people I know, the people that know the people I know. And the second part of it is understanding my packages, because I think when I put them together, I kept thinking of how I did it before. Then I had to go back and realign. So, Nicole is right. I went out to Louis Vuitton. I went out to my competitors. And when I say my competitors, I'm not thinking of my local town people here and say, okay, they're competitors. No, I'm looking at clientele. I'm looking at Preston Belly. I'm looking at the people that are actually making the money and making it a permanent job that they do. And I did research. Colin Cowley says he only does 9 events a year. 9 events. So he's making quite a bit of money if he can only do 9 events when we're all scraping just to do 10 to 20. And I know our event planners know what I'm talking about. So I started looking at the brand, and Nicole is right. It's very simple of what our luxury client wants. And we keep thinking about our clients, because when I first started, and I know some of you, when you first started business, it was all about, I want to do it for that middle class, that person that's me, that looks like me, that make the kind of money I make. They need my service. Then I found that really, they think they know everything. They already got what they need to know, so they don't need my service. It's that client that says, listen, I am too busy. I don't have time. I want somebody to come and just do it all for me, and then come back and tell me the end result. And the money's always an object, but it's not major it's not the major hurdle when they're making that decision. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been working on it. So Yes, hence to say, I'm going to do a launch party. I'm looking at a new type of client, which a lot of people are really looking into because people have their own opinions about marriage. But I'm looking at my LGBTQ, my lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender, and queen society, who we are finding that they are spending the money, that they do want that service, and they don't know what to do because this is really out of their realm of thinking about getting married. And they think about getting married different than the regular bride. So that's what I'm looking into. So.
Great. Thank you so much,
Sounds good.
Tuesday. And you have a new logo, you said too, right?
Yes, new logo.
Great.
I got
Awesome.
new business cards I'm going to give everybody.
Good. All right, who's next? Yes.
I'm never ready to go, but I had a great experience last week and over the past few months. Since January, with some pushing from Danielle from a few months before that, I had signed up to write for this website, Everything Girls Love. And since January, I've started to write for two different sections, the relationship section and the entertainment section. So I've written like over 60 articles at this point. So like Nicole, I'm very tired, but it's a good thing. It's something that I went to school for broadcast journalism, even though I'm doing a totally different profession right now, which has kind of helped me to improve my writing skills. But last week I was able to attend this event that I've been trying to go to for years. It was called the American Black Film Festival, and we had the opportunity to interview the showrunners. And what a showrunner is a executive producer of a show. So it was great. It didn't go according to schedule, but it was great in itself that we got to sit in on the panel and we got to talk to Mara Brock-Akil and Salim Akil, her husband. They're the producers of Girlfriends, Being Mary Jane, and The Game. And also Chris Spencer was there. You may know him as a comedic actor, but he's also behind Real Husbands of Hollywood. And one other lady who we actually got to do a one-on-one interview with, her name is Janine Sherman Barrow. I'm going to say her last name wrong, Barrows, but she's the executive producer of Criminal Minds. And she just gave so much information, and she was so easy to talk to, which I think is making, even though I'm still a little nervous, but it's making me, it made it very easy to talk to her last week. And, but they all gave some very good information just about, for all of us, like how to run a business or just being a boss, and we're all trying to do that, or be a showrunner of our own show. So they just said, one thing that was very interesting, because like Tuesday said, we tend to only want to deal with certain crowds or communities, but Chris Spencer, of all people, he said, be diverse. You can't just keep talking to that same crowd. You can't just talk to the few black people you know, or be prepared for that audience. If you want to grow and build, you're going to have to go to other communities, like you said. So that you have to prepare yourself to have more diversity. Also, one other thing, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my notes.
You're so prepared. You have notes.
No, this is just because it was here. One other person said, I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. They said, Chris Spencer again, he said, Keenan Ivory Wayans told him if he was going to grow, he had to be prepared to build his own empire, not just kind of, like it would be comfortable just to stay with Nicole, and Nicole is wonderful, but we have to be prepared to do our own things and grow so that we can collaborate and create more opportunities for her, for all of you. So I thought that was good. And one other last point, if I find it, we've talked about diverse crowds, and being a steward of your story. Mark Brock-Akil said, be the steward of your own story. You don't want your story told through someone else. So if you have great ideas, but you constantly hire somebody else, but you have to be the visionary and really push it out there. And that's also what Janine Sherman Barrow said. You know, she works for Criminal Minds, but she has her own ideas. And so Warner Brothers has finally recognized her for her own projects and is giving her a deal. So you may think your work is going unnoticed, but you really have to get, like you said, get people engaged and paying attention to you guys. And, you know, somebody is going to give you that ticket to do your own big thing one day. So it was a great experience.
Yes, awesome. All right. Yes, please. working or Nina?
Well, since we last met, I did do an event. This was my first event here in the South Jersey area, because most of my clients are up North Jersey, that's where I'm from. So I pretty much already know a lot of people, so I use, a lot of people are, recommend me. So this was my first event here in South Jersey area, and it actually turned out to be a really nice event. I was a little skeptical about doing it, but I did it, and it was great. It turned out really nice.
Yes.
It was a casino themed event, and it was at the VFW in Warrenboro. I was referred by a friend of mine, that lives near me. So it turned out really nice, and I had a great time. And actually, Nicole was there.
I support my divas. That's great.
So it was awesome. It turned out really nice. I had a great time and everything. But just like Tusi said and Tawana said, I have to learn how to take my business to the next level and to upscale my clients, because I did great and I was able to give out a lot of cards and I got a lot of recommendations and people were approaching me all night long, letting me know how great of a job we did. But I also noticed that just by going to a lot of events, because I like, when people invite me, I go just because I want to get ideas. I always try to make it to whatever kind of events. That's how I get a lot of my ideas, and that's how I, get myself out there as well. But I noticed that when people have their events and they're doing it on their own, a lot of times the average person is not going to need my help. Because basically what they're doing is not what I would normally do. I think that my vision is just a little bit above and beyond sometimes, because I see bigger, not that it has to be expensive, but I just see a bigger vision for certain things. So I realized that my clientele has to be a little bit more upscale in order for me to do the things that I want to do to show what I'm capable of.
Right.
That's right.
So,
Thank
that's
you.
where I am.
Great, thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I've been very, very busy. Again, I said I'm in the travel business. Clients are just coming in and out and a lot of recommendations. I just sent this one couple, it was their first time doing international. They were a little skeptical, and I just coached them through it, and just to let them know, feel a little bit comfortable, because I've been to Cancun. So people have a little bit of skeptical when it comes to there. So I just wrote everything down, make sure they had their packet together, and after that, they were on their trip. Actually, they're still on their trip now, and I got a phone call from another girl and said, "Hey, listen, I heard that you do travel," and I got another client. So I'm real busy. So yeah, I'll go real late, trying to get everything together, but it's been really, really good. And my husband is definitely supporting me by giving me all the people that he knows, and I'm getting on these phone calls. I'm like, who are these people calling my cell phone? He was like, yeah, I got somebody else for you. They're interested. So it's been really a good experience.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love the support too, because we all know that's important.
Right.
So that's great. Oh, congratulations.
One, I'll be calling you.
I know, I'm thinking that too, like.
The second thing is with your phone, if you're still using your personal cell, you might want to look into is Google Voice.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's
free,
Okay.
and you can set it up where when you call someone back, you're calling them from the Google Voice number. So you still use your cell phone,
Okay.
and the phone will ring for both numbers, and then when you call back, it'll say, do you want to use your Google Voice or not? And that way, no one has your personal cell. And then you can have a separate voicemail for your business. This, you can do a little marketing on your voicemail, and that way you keep it separate.
Good information.
Awesome.
We use it, it works fine.
Yes.
It's good.
I've been using it for years.
And I use it too. I
Adele
did
just
notice
taught me that
sometimes
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and I used it too. I did notice sometimes it would get a little glitchy. Me and 295, I think that's more my phone than it is Google Voice, but that's something I've noticed. So guys, I'm getting tired of sitting down, so I gotta stand up, so please excuse me. But we have 5 people watching now, so the numbers are going up, so that's cool. The image looks so clear, so thumbs up to the cameraman, because I know he is back there working hard. Like, I know this is not happening, since he worked so hard for the past 2 days. For those of you who are watching, I just want to say, because now the chat feature isn't still working quite the way it was working before when we tested this all out, please send your comments or questions to @PrestigeNick and use the hashtag #ThePrestigeSociety. And that way we have a moderator who will be able to grab the questions and then we can address whatever you bring up. So questions, or next time if you want to get in on the roll call, that's what you do. You send that information there and we'll be more than happy to hear about the fabulous things that you're working on, that you're doing. All right. So, anyone else? I don't want to miss anyone. I don't want to miss any. No, for now, let's talk about it. How's school going?
Everything's going good. I'll be done with school in a few months. I'm starting to think about rebranding my business when I come back full-fledged
Good.
in January, and that's about it.
Good.
Got a wedding in a couple of weeks that I have to do. Outside of that, I don't really have much going on while I'm in school.
Yeah, that's all right. But that's not true either. So I'm just.
I mean, I'm thinking about business, but I'm not doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and you're helping your
Right.
mom, right? And you're helping your
Yes.
mom with her business, so she's doing a lot of consultation in that space. And so, yeah, so I think there are some things that you're definitely working on because we always talk and we're always talking about businesses. So I know there's more going on.
Well, yeah, I'm focused on January.
Yes.
But
Right.
I'm not knee deep in it yet.
There you go. You're still doing weddings though.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're preparing for one. Is that in July?
Yep. 4th of July, actually.
Oh, goodness. Great. So we're going to jump right into Customer Relations 101. But before we do that, do you guys want to kind of take a break, use the bathroom? You're good? Because we can keep going. You're good? Okay. Wonderful. So in today's session, we're going to be able to clearly and succinctly identify our clientele, as well as identify 2 or 3 struggles, and then provide a correlation of how your services solve your client's problem, and then execute on a plan to retain clients. So let me tell you why this is really important. At the heart of what we do, we need clients. At the heart of what we do, we need clients to pay. At the heart of what we do, we need clients to pay so we can get paid and live our lives, right? So they're very important. But what's interesting is that I remember talking to a fellow socialite, and I remember talking about doing a Twitter chat on client relations, and she asked, why is that important? And that's what I realized a lot of us are missing. What are we doing? How are we making sure that we are making it absolutely easy for people to do business with us? How are we ensuring that the process that they go through is absolutely seamless from beginning to end? And so there are so many different things we need to talk about when it comes to client relations, but today we're going to talk about the very basics, hence why I said this is just going to be 101. Because we need to start at the basics before we move on and talk about all the things that you think about. Like I can spell out 10,000 things. Like, do you know your clients, their, what do we call it? We call it their essential versus their logical needs. Do you know that? No. I remember teaching that to customer service people in a mortgage company years ago because at the very base, that's what they need to know. Do you know how your different clients feel about your business, about your industry? Do you know how they feel about what they're going through? Do you know these things? No, because why are we busy focusing on what we need to do to get more clients and not really thinking about how are we treating the ones that we currently have? A lot of companies that I've worked for, all have been Fortune, well not all, but most of them have been Fortune 500, and most have been publicly traded companies. No commercials. Not one commercial on TV. Not one. And it's because they know that their brand is so strong with their client base that really it's all about how they treat their clients, because they know their clients are going to be able to be the ones that say, oh, you need to use so-and-so because this brand is great. And it's so funny because yesterday, I'm sitting in my office, my boss walks out, and she goes, I need to tell somebody else. And I said, what are you talking about? And she had a bad experience, not even with a customer, with someone who reports to her. And she said, what do they say? You have a bad experience, and who do you tell? And someone walked by and said, everybody. And it just happened that this is what I was, working on. Shh. Right? I was working on finishing the presentation here. And I said, that is the basis of it. We have to take care of our brands, because when you have someone who is not happy with your brand, they have a bad experience with your brand, not only have you burned that bridge with that person, but now they're going to tell everyone. I went to a restaurant, and I will not say the name of the restaurant. You go on my social media page, you'll know. But for my anniversary, and I loved the ambiance, but I hated the food. Oh my gosh, the food was horrible. And you know what my husband said? Well, I guess the reviews are right on point. I'm sorry, sir, what? Everyone said the same thing. Oh my gosh, the food is horrible, but the ambiance is phenomenal. You still took me here? Wow. And so this then becomes your brand. Everyone knows you as the place that just has great ambiance but sucky food. So then if you're trying to sell yourself on being a restaurant that has awesome food, people are like, no you don't. And then they start to define your brand. So regardless of whatever you try to do to define it, what you are providing as an experience to your clients becomes your brand. So that's what we're trying to work on when we talk about client relations one-on-one. So with that, the first thing you need to do, and I definitely give credit to Adriana Langford, the creator of the Profit Girl system, for this particular profile, because in the system that I'm working on with her, I had to map out who my customer was. So tell me something. Do you think I knew, now because we've been doing this a while, right? We've been doing prestige design for a while. Do you think I knew who my client was before I did this? Let me reword that. Do you think I felt I knew who my client was before I did this profile?
I think you felt like you knew until you went through this. Right.
Anyone else think I felt like I knew? For now, it's not her like, yes, I think you feel like you knew. Yes. I was like, what is this? I know who my client is. I don't want to do this. This is so not beneath me, because I absolutely adore the Profit Girl. But I was like, this exercise is like so not what I need to be focusing on. But I told myself, trust the process, go through it anyway. And when I went through it, I realized a few things. So the first thing we talked about was age. So when we looked at what was the age of my client, I was like, oh, the age of my client can range from 26 to 56. And so, I know, so let me tell you something, I was like, no. And so Adriana was like, really? And she didn't really question me, but she said, that seems like a large number, a really huge gap. But I was thinking to myself, well, I mean, I know who has joined Prestige in the past, I know the ages, that seems about right. And so then she said, hey, I have a client who also had a really wide gap. And so when she started changing her brand, the older the demographic was, the more they started to complain about her choice of color. Because it was orange in there. We'll talk about now when I say orange. So she said the orange and the bright pinks and the yellows turned off her older clientele to the point where they were sending her messages saying, oh my gosh, like what have you done? While the younger, because I've been on this person's site, who I think she was telling me about, and I love this site. I think it's vibrant. It draws me in. I love it. I love the vibrant colors, the use of the vibrant colors, typography that she uses on her website. But when I tell you that older crowd didn't like it, they did not like it. And so it forced her to really think about closing that gap. And then we're going to go to why age is important too, because as we move on. So that was my number one thing, where it forced me to say, I need to get a little bit more clear about who these people are. So then it moved into where do they live? I was like, everywhere. There I go again, my big gap of age, and people living everywhere. They live everywhere. I want to be worldwide. She's like, let's bring this in some. Are they middle class? Are they upper middle class? Do they own their own homes? Do they rent penthouses? Do they live in a metro area? Are they in the suburbs? Who's your client? So I was like, wait, what? And once again, this is why I'm so tired. Forcing me to think, who are the people that I really want to reach? Then we moved on. Where do they work? So I'll take you through my journey. I I said, corporate America. She said, okay. Why? And I said, I don't know, because that's where everybody works. Exactly. So that's what I'm thinking, right? Okay, corporate America. I'm taking you through my journey now as we go through this profile. She said, where do they hang out? Well, I don't know, everywhere. She was like, Nicole, okay, they're everywhere. Okay, bye. So we're going to continue on my journey. What are they struggling with? Starting a business? No, because some of them already have their businesses started. Well, what are their struggles? I'm sorry, how much do they make? It's personal. How do they feel about your industry? They love it. They don't understand it, but I think they love it because they should. That's not the question. Danielle's like, oh, now I get it, right? Because we wouldn't do this with her. So let's go through this again. Age. I said 25 to 35. I want them to grow with me, right? So I'm 35, even though I know I look 25 for all of you on out there on YouTube land. But I figured that was the range. I figured at 25, you have either worked in your, whatever it is, your job, your career, and you're at a point where you're saying this is either for me or not for me, or either this is for me and I want multiple streams of income. Whatever the case may be, I figure at 25, you're starting to peak. And with the millennials this age, they probably start at 21, but we're gonna go with 25. And then 35, because I said, you know what, that's gonna be not saying that there won't be additional outside of that age range who won't be part of the group. This is going to be what the large percentage of the clientele will be. And that's what she forced me to say. She said, I'm not talking about everyone that you touch. I'm talking about, as far as percentages go, what is the most, when you look at the average, that you see, that's your clientele. So that's okay, 25 to 35. Where do they live? I put two areas, either thriving metro areas or middle-class suburbs. And the reason being is because if they're in a thriving area, metro area, and they're renting, they're paying a lot for their rent, which means they can afford that lifestyle. And if they live in the suburbs, 9 times out of 10, they own their property. So they're paying a mortgage. Cool. That means that they can afford what it is I'm trying to provide as a service. Where do they work? This is going to tie into these two. I did a duplicate, I'm sorry, but their struggles, right? So we'll move into where do they hang out. This is more about social media, online and offline. So where are they socially hanging out? What are they doing with their free time? What are they looking for when they get done with their 9 to 5? So for me, now if I were, let's say, a motivational speaker who wanted to target, let's say, a Christian genre, well, then I would say they hang out in, their churches. They're always in women groups. They're always in, women fellowship groups. Those are the things where I would say they hang out. But for where the demographic I want to reach, where do they hang out? They are on Instagram because they're constantly posting pictures of their brands and their business. They are on Twitter because they're constantly linking either articles that they've read or articles that they've written. They are on Facebook because they are belonging to I don't know how many different groups. The women I've selected to be part of the Pink Room group within Facebook, and we'll talk about how that came to be and why that came to be. When people because I targeted a group, but now women are also asking to join. And these are women that I don't know who are asking to join. And what it shows you is how many groups they belong to already. So when I tell you women who are now asking for entrance into this group, it'll say they belong to 30 groups. It'll say they belong to 10 groups. So what it is that they enjoy that group atmosphere, like you were saying, Tawana, because that's where they thrive. So these are the women who are either constantly in social media trying to boost their brands, or they're hanging out at networking events. They're trying to meet new people. They're part of other different groups like these. We'll talk about what that tells me. Then what are they struggling with? Oh, this is your gold mine. If you don't know what people are struggling with, then there is no reason why they even need you. Because all you're doing is just adding a cost to their life. They don't know anything about your brand yet, so you're not a want yet. You're not a want at all. What you're trying to do is show that they need you. And we'll talk about the difference between want versus need and how you can proposition that. Because sometimes there's things that we really don't need, but we still want it. Because the way it's been propositioned to us, as if they cannot either be successful, or they cannot achieve a certain level of status, or they can't even, I want to say, deal with the daily function, health function, without this want. So we'll talk about that. How much do they make? I decided to say what I wanted my clientele to make. And I do want them to make six figures, and I'm gonna tell you why. When it came to the struggles and where do they hang out, where do they work? All this is tied. Struggles, how much do they make, and then where do they work? I think of me, right? So I said, this is who my clientele is going to be. Corporate America, six figures, trapped. Do those three things sound like they make sense to you? Right? Corporate America, six figures, and then trapped? No. But if you know you want to be an entrepreneur, if you know that you want to leave your company, if you know that you want to do this full time, then the security of being able to make that type of money with your business is going to make you feel fearful about taking that leap of faith. So I want the person who feels trapped, has the revenue or the capital to be able to pay for my services, and be able to say, this is why I need you. When it came to this person right here, Adriana, that's what I wrote to her in my email when I said, I know you put this offer out for women who are going to buy your system. I know that maybe if I waited, I would be able to take advantage of this, but let me tell you why I need you. And I said, I work for this company. I make this dollar amount. I so believe in my business, but I do not believe that without working with someone who can help me get to this amount on a monthly basis, that I'll leave. And she said, wow, you're the client that I need to work with. And so that's who I need. I need the women who struggle with that. And so I said, well, how do I know they're really struggling with it? It's not just me. So I created the Pink Room. And I didn't just want women who know how I think already. I included you guys into the Pink Room, but I wanted something beyond that. So I started just picking any woman that I know that has a business, who maybe doesn't talk to me, that knows how I think, but that I at least know has a business. And I can either tell by whatever their profile picture says or whatever they've been doing. So I said, okay, I need them. I think that was the first question I asked. What are the 2 to 3 things you struggle with? And it spanned everywhere from how do I turn my purpose into a profit, to how do I work on strategic relationships. It gave me enough information to be able to say the 2 to 3 things that people, the targeted person that I'm focusing on, struggles with is information and support. Because they need to know how to do everything from starting their business to taking their business to the next level. And they need a support mechanism to help them when they feel doubtful about the choices that they're making. And so that gave me that information to say, okay, how do they really feel about your industry? The reality is they feel about coaching fluff. But the women who are working in corporate America, who know that they feel trapped and are ready to get out, and they make enough to say, okay, I want to do something to change my life, they feel like they need it. So what I want you to do, and we'll have an opportunity for you guys to do a breakout session where you're able to map that out. That's what I want you to think about for your clients, because that's when you begin to create packages or create products or create services that help people. Because before I went through this, I wasn't there yet. I didn't know why I was making packages. Okay, I guess this is what you do. Great. Now I see why I need to, because everyone's not at the same level. Everyone can't afford the same thing, because if everyone was really here, then I'd have one, and that would be at $99.99 a month. Boom. Right? Because that's what Vernell told me I needed to do. You better make that $99.99. Yes, ma'am. But that's what I would have done because I really didn't understand it, but I had to go through that, and there were certain things I had to do, and I couldn't just even sit down for 5 minutes and make this out. I had to create a group in Facebook. I had to get to understand the people that I really want to be able to say, this is who I want to support. I was going to do this because I think I'm the weather girl. It's the orange room. Greg, can we please get a smart board in the building? I went like this and it didn't work. So then let's talk about your clientele workflow, what you're going to go through. So this is you.
That is me.
I was going to say, that's you. Love it, yes. So that's you. And then you have to ask yourself who, where are your customers and what are they experiencing? So can anyone share what they think this question mark means for them? Yes, Tawana.
I'm first.
Yay.
Well, Danielle and I have talked about this quite a lot over the past 2 years. And we've had differing opinions, but kind of like Amina said, and back to Tuesday, I have an idea, a grandiose idea of who my client should be. And Danielle's like, but we want to help that little guy. We want to really help that person grow. And I'm like, no, they don't have no money. I don't want to help them. Because like Yamina said, you have this vision of what you want to do for them, but they don't have the budget. So that has been the struggle. Like, where am I going to find the clientele that can afford the big vision that I see? Whether it's, we're helping them brand market for an event, or whether it's something PR related. We have these new artists, but they don't have any money. Well, can you just write this bio? No, not for 2 cents. I can't. Well, people charge extraordinary amount. I'm not saying that I want to just rake in the money, but it takes time. So I don't want that bottom level client just because I know the lifestyle that I want to live. I want to go to France with you.
Yes.
So I can't go to France anymore. So
I'm going to need help with that. Oh, because I need help with that.
we have to pay her, so I can't keep taking a client that can't afford a certain dollar point.
Yes. I just got did you see a Twitter thing come in at all? Okay. I'm sorry. I just saw something come in through Twitter, so I wanted to be cognizant of that. So now, have you had an opportunity to start focusing on that client? And what are they experiencing? And so for the client that you are now identifying, what are they experiencing? So for that client that can afford your services, because remember, when we were talking about the want and the need to take our brands to the next level, but before we do that, there's some steps that we have to do to take care and cultivate our brand so that we're prepared to then say, okay, this is what I can provide. So when you look at who you want to market to, who's that person?
Well, you and I have been through this exercise probably 500 times.
It's okay.
I know what I want them to look like, but I might not be ready for it, and I do want to go through a period of kind of rebranding and just balancing a schedule where I can give that person, as Tuesday said, like a more of a white glove service.
Okay.
Because right now, if I'm juggling with everything, then I may not be able to provide that for them, but that is my vision.
Okay.
Because I know what I want.
Okay.
So, and I know who I want to work with.
Good.
Somebody who's more educated versus somebody who you're trying to get to buy into what your ideas are.
Okay, good. And what are they experiencing? So that for that educated person, what are they currently experiencing? That's okay, because remember, no, it's okay if you don't know. Remember, I am huge on feeling comfortable being uncomfortable. Because like I said, I want to take you through my journey because I didn't know either. And these conversations, now when I have conversations with Danielle, sometimes they go 3 hours long, right? And I said to Danielle, do you see why I'm stressed out? Because I go through this for 45 minutes with Adriana. I'm stressed out because my head is usually spinning with stuff. But figuring out what they're experiencing, that's defining their problems, those 2 to 3 struggles that they have. And that's how you have that conversation with someone where you're saying, without saying it, you need me. Think about Snickers. Who the heck needs a Snickers? Do you need a Snickers? But even in their tagline, it says what? Do you know what the tagline? I know. We should all know. That's still on somebody's desk during the work day. It was satisfies, right? Satisfy your hunger?
Satisfy your hunger.
So when you're hungry, what do you think of if you really want something sweet? You know you don't want a salad. You'd be like, oh, I got this candy bar. You don't need it. It's subliminal. Satisfies your hunger. You need to eat. That is a daily function that your body needs for you to do. And now you're reaching for something that you do not need to satisfy a daily function that you need to do in order to live, which is satisfying your hunger. You're just doing with a candy bar. You don't need it. They propositioned it in a way where subconsciously you think you do. And it's really because now you want it. And you're telling yourself, not so bad. I love Vernell's version. She said, well, it has peanuts in it, so there's my
It
protein.
does. That's what satisfies your hunger.
That's why it satisfies your hunger, because it has
That's the protein.
And so those are the things that you want to be able to say, you know, what is it that the person that I'm targeting is experiencing? I love it best. Their problems are your gold mine. So if you don't know what they're struggling with, then all your proposition to them is, I've said this to you before, right? A task or a list of tasks that come with a $, and they don't even know why they need it, because in their head they're already saying why they don't. Because at the heart of it, we don't like to spend money. I always share our personal experiences. I asked a very awesome business partner, someone that I collaborate with, how much will it cost to do ... And he gave me his price, and I so respect him, and I had a heart attack. I said, okay. I said, I need a moment. When I needed my moment, and I sat there, and I called Danielle and said, oh, I need to talk this through. What the rationalization was, I need this service. I need it. And instead of coming in and saying, can I please pay 50 cents for your service, we just negotiated something that was comfortable for him and comfortable for me. Because at the end of the day, I need it. Like, I understand that I need this service. But if I didn't think I needed this service, if it was never propositioned to me or brought to me in a way where I felt that it could benefit me or my business or my brand, and somebody came to me with some price tag that's more than my car note, I'm gonna automatically tell myself why I don't need it. Instantly. I'm not gonna rationalize it. I'm not gonna put in my head, how am I gonna fix my budget to pay for this? I'm gonna just say no. But if I already know that I need it and it's gonna help me succeed, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. I'm gonna have a conversation to say, how can we do this? Without saying, you know what, thanks but no thanks. Because that's what we experience, right? You give somebody your price, oh, this much, and they go, whoo, I'm good. Because they already thinking about, well, you know what, I could really just go to the dollar store and make my own sunflower arrangement. And you're thinking, really?
Right.
But you gotta figure out, what are they struggling with? Because if you can speak to that, and remember, I always say Snickers, because they're not telling you, you need to eat, so you need us. Like, that's not in their tagline. It's all subliminal. It's how they position it. And even think about the brands. Who really needs a designer bag that costs $1,000? Who really needs a pair of shoes with some colored bottoms at the end of your soles? You don't need it, you want it. It's something about the status of having that makes you feel like you are part of this, whatever it is you're looking to be a part of. So to them, they do need it. They need it in order for them to survive in whatever group that they are in. Why do they need you? And I'm not asking you to answer now, so don't feel the pressure, but that's what you are going to figure out. Why? Because they need you. It's even in what you say every time you talk to someone, because we want the world to know about your brand. Damn. Because I think I'm global. I mean, I'm not really global, but I believe in my head that I am, or that I'm destined to be.
And if you believe it, you will be.
That's right, because it's all about generation of an idea, right? All right, that's great. That's the thing. So for you, you have to then get comfortable with that and understanding that, and spend some time getting to know these people that are brands that you're already with. Talk to us. Call me up. Nicole, what do you struggle with? Because I got lots of struggles. I'm going to tell you right now, writing content is one. Somebody told me to go and look. We done had Tuesday go on to a website and get her a virtual assistant.
I was going to suggest that.
They're affordable. Super affordable.
But you need me to write content.
I need you to write content, but I need you to write content. That's what I was getting at. But that's the thing. So people have struggles. You know, we have someone wonderful here who has opportunities abound, right? And everything right now is going by word of mouth. There's somebody here who can write something for her, copy, that could be a sales page for her, that would be very easy, brochure, something that can help with her brand and saying, this is what you guys need. Because I'm gonna tell you what I need. I need a travel agent. Because I mean, I'm used to going to Orbitz, but Orbitz can't give me what I need, like a payment plan. Right? That's the struggle for your customers. And because I don't know a travel agent, I had a bad experience with one for my wedding. Had my wedding in one place and me staying at another. Okay. So I don't have a travel agent, and I need to book a particular vacation, and I need a payment plan because where I want to go is going to call for some plans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that option when I'm going to Orbit or whatever else online traveling service you look for. So you know what they're experiencing as far as a problem. Now you can help them with that, and that's all you need to know. What are they having a problem with? Tuesday spoke about it. You know what problems that your targeted client base is struggling with. And so now you are able to easily say, this is how I can help you. And now she didn't have to say, I know it's a problem for you. She's just saying, these are my services. And they're already like, oh my gosh, I need her. Because this is what I've been struggling with. And she's thinking in her head, I know. So this is the gold mine for being able to help your clients with your services, but you have to know what they're struggling with. Another thing is, how much are they willing to pay for your services and your products? And so, there's one thing, and there's a couple ways you can look at this. You can look at industry standards and see what's out there so you don't think you're just pulling a number from out your behind. You can look at what you need in order for you to make the profit that you need. You can look at how much it costs for you and your time that you do something. So even like on other projects, I said to Danielle, tell me, at this title that you're taking for this project, how many hours do you plan on working per day on this project? And then I said, okay, for the week. And then we did that. We did a bi-weekly, and we were able to say, okay, take this bi-weekly for 6 months, duration of this project, that's your number. So you can figure out, okay, you can put it either market-based, you can figure out what your hourly amount is, but then you want to be able to throw it out there and just say, are people willing to pay for it? And just see what comes back. Someone came to me and had a great idea for a service. And I said, hey, I have a platform for you to throw it out there just to see if people would bite. And I got all types of responses. You responded to Lana. I don't know if you responded Tuesday. So people were responding, but the thing is now you have an idea, and everyone wasn't saying the same thing, and everyone wasn't all completely bought into the price either. And the prices that I put out there for that person weren't even, it didn't start off with the price we were going for. I jacked some things up, made some things really low, and then made the midpoint. And people were able to say where they were willing to fall. And some people said, I won't pay nothing for this. And some said, I would, but this is why I would pay this amount. I have to make this much amount of money off of this service in order for me to say that it is of value to me. Those conversations are key because now you feel more confident when you're able to put out your pricing and you don't feel like you're just pulling it out of your behind, right? And I think that's the things we struggle with. How do we know we're priced at the right market? Or we're fearful and saying, I remember, and Tana can't say when I bring this up, I remember. Now we just went over the pricing model for the new packages. And I said to Tana, girl, you remember when we decided to move Prestige from out of my house. So when we first started, we started out in the living room with the founding members. I said, remember when I first said I wanted to bring in members at $40 for the year? And she said, Nicole, shut up. Because I said, what was hilarious is, remember we said, do you think they'll pay that? Do you think it's too much? And it's because we're fearful. We're fearful to ask people to pay that. Now, looking how much we've expanded, it's like, listen, that's actually very cheap, and you're getting away with so much information and so much support at that low amount. So that's awesome that now we're able to see growth, but we don't want to get into a rut when we price ourselves too low. We want to make sure that we're priced to market, that we're priced in the right space, we're priced what's comfortable for us, and then also have a conversation with clients to say, is this even reasonable for you? Because that's going to also tell you how they feel about your services. And then your ability. Assess assess your ability to attract your desired clientele. Are you an attractive brand to the clientele that you want to reach out to? And if so, what makes you attractive to that clientele? So is it just that your brand alone speaks a certain status and people come to you or clamor to you because they so want to be part of your brand? Or is it that because you know what they're experiencing and you are helping them with their need? There's a number of reasons why people are attracted to a brand. It's not always based off of need, as we just discussed, but you have to assess for you, what is your ability to attract your desired clientele? You want to step up your clientele? How? What's going to attract them to you? So, on businessknowhow.com, James DeSana says, selling is about solving customer problems, whether those are problems customers are currently facing or problems they will face as their marketplace evolves and their needs change. Let me tell you what's so powerful. Well, tell me, so I can stop talking for a moment. Tell me, what do you think is interesting about this quote? Or what resonates with you about this quote?
It's the fact that he's looking at the future, even though he doesn't know what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows the immediate problem, but then he's looking down the road to say, he knows that some of these things are going to trickle down to other problems.
Yes.
And this is an opportunity, and that's what I was thinking, of upselling. So
Yes.
sometimes we can go in low, but the whole purpose is once you grab that client is to tell them, okay, these are the things that I foresee in the bigger package,
Mm-hmm.
and that we may not talk about, but you can go in low with not giving as much.
That's right.
Just giving enough to get them started, and then say, okay, well, if you'd like to see more things, or think about more things, these are the things I would have you consider. And that's the part of, really, that's what makes people's business grow, is more of the upselling
Mm-hmm.
and those, what we call ancillary charges, that start to populate, and then people say, okay, and then I put my packages, as me and Nicole have discussed, it's like a low package. But I want you to get to the package that really is going to give you everything that will solve your problem. Because, of course, it's a much more expensive package. But if you go into my ancillaries and you start adding up, you're above that package that you could have just got from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what he's trying to say, is that we want to get people at the very base, and then we want to feed them a little bit more, and actually tell them, but without actually laying out food. It's a thought, like you said, the Snickers thing.
That's right.
We want to satisfy your appetite.
That's
But
right.
we know that we got to get you in your head to think, okay, there's more things than I might need. And that's the same with your travel. You could probably say, oh, you know, yeah, you
That
just want
just
to,
happened, I was about to
Yeah.
say that.
you just want to fly, and you just want to get there. But have you thought about actually going out and doing some jet skiing? They got some great
I
packages
was
on.
going to say that,
Well,
because I was there, because
yeah,
I'm trying to
well,
plan my 5-year wedding anniversary next year. And we're trying to plan it with in-laws, because they'll be celebrating their 10-year anniversary, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law. And so I was thinking, ooh, does Vernell do any upselling for activities? Because me and my husband are famous for going somewhere and just sitting somewhere. I want to do stuff. So I was thinking, as you were talking, like how you can create those extra, upcharges by adding in those activities and things people can do.
Well, just to piggyback on what you were saying, the people that I actually have, they're on travel right now to Cancun. They have like an all-adult resort, and then they have the other resorts.
Okay.
Well, first they gave her the package because she told me her budget, and then I'm like, she was like, well, if you want to go with the adult, you can actually stay at the adult, pay a little, I think it was like $40 to $80 more, and then you can visit all the other resorts because you have access to everything else, but they don't have access to you. There's no children that can come on your resort or anything like that. So that's what I went for.
That's nice.
Isn't it always
Yeah.
funny how people find money for the things that,
Oh, I always think
and I was
that.
thinking the same thing when you were talking to me. I was like, listen, people will find the money for the things they want. So the question is, how do you get them?
Right.
And that's what I'm hoping that we, as we're collaborating with each other, that we find out is, how do you get that person to pay them more money? What are you telling them that's gonna say, okay, it's gonna trigger in their mind, oh, you know what, like you said, but a little $60, $80 more, it's the same thing as somebody, you buy a car, people are like, oh, you buy this, the base model, that's why they got 3 different models.
I think it's probably ultimately gonna come down to use a lesser word, the salesperson, but cultivating our pitch.
Yep.
But then having the power to back it up, the ability and the skills to back it up.
That's right. And think about if someone is selling something to you, what are they selling you on? They're telling you the things that will either be more of a convenience to you, something that's going to either enhance your experience, something, because they already got you into the base. They already got you at the base. So for instance, yeah, you're at this all-adult resort, which is perfect because the kids can't bother you. But sometimes those all-adult resorts that are in like boutique parts of the resort are small. So now you have an option to go off somewhere else. So now you get to do more just for this amount. They're already bought in, they're already at the resort. So here's the thing, they can do more. That enhances our experience. They probably already paid the amount too. So now they're like, I hate to go this route, but well, payday is next week, and I can now take from this check and pay that. And so now you're able to reel them in and just get a little bit more, a little bit more. But it's all about, now that you've already sold the experience of why they needed you, whether you need to get away, you need to relax, you need to be able to mentally reset and be refreshed so you can then come back to everyday life and do what you need to do and do it all over again. However you sell it to them, you already got them at the base. So then the upsell, you should just feel so comfortable because it's about enhancing that experience. And if they don't want to do it, guess what? You already got them at the base. And if they want to, awesome. So that's where we have to have the freedom of the upcharge. It's really about, do you want to enhance your experience? So for this amount, you can do this. If they say yes, great. If they don't, well. Yeah. All right. So anyone else want to talk about what sticks out to them about this? It's like, I want to say something. I'm joking. Yes.
I think it's also not just upselling them, but looking at future trends and understanding the future trends that your client may face and being prepared to tackle that, to be able to solve for that. Take, for instance, technology. Say if you had a client from 10 years ago, understanding that the future trend is going to be technology, and how do I prepare, what services can I provide to them to make them ready for this new world of technology and to be able to continue to be competitive with others. There was another thing I was going to say, but I agree. My mom is she sells timeshare. I know a lot of people frown on timeshare, but the reason she's so successful with timeshare is because she is a great salesperson and she solves for the customer's problem. So she just doesn't go in there and just shows them the video and walks them through. She learns them. She learns about their personalities. Most of the people she sold, she's not friends with, but they associate, they call her, they invite her to things when they're in town because she's took whatever they came in with, found something that was of interest to them or something that they shared, and she played off of that, and then by the time they walk out, the only reason they're not buying is because their credit is bad. If they got good credit, even if they only buy the smallest package, they're going to buy something from her because they walk out of there feeling like she's a friend.
That's right.
And that's, and she's pretty, when you think about it, she's solving their problems. Their problem might be, okay, well, you have grandchildren. Don't you want your grandchildren to visit these places? You can put this in your will, and like she figures out what it is that their needs are, and she plays on that.
Yeah, and I think there's an onus too for us as small business owners when it comes to this. And that onus is, how are you staying relevant to your client? So for instance, it's not just about you knowing your marketplace, it's saying that you are aware of what they're going to face. So you're prepared to deliver, to your point, if you know you have a client from 10 years ago, how are you making sure that you stay up on their needs, their trends, what's impacting them? So that way, when you are providing new services or that you are talking to them, they know that, wow, this is something that I need to use, something I need to continue to use, because it's not just about the one-time selling, there it's about how do you keep them into your realm of influence, and how do you get them to have those reoccurring relationships as you move on. So just remember, asking yourself, how do you solve your clients' problems? So in order for you to find out, there are easy steps to being able to identify the problem. So first you want to say, what is really their issue? And it's finding the right problem. So for instance, if someone comes to me and tells me that my problem is that, and I'll just use Twitter chat because I'm addicted now that I did one. But Nicole, you don't Twitter chat enough.
Okay.
I don't really see that as my problem because it's not really telling me why that's a problem for me. It's not telling me how that's going to impact my ultimate want or my ultimate goal for my brand. And so you want to make sure that you're identifying the right problem. So it's not just about your agenda or what you're interested in. It's about what's important to the client and what's going to get them closer to their end game, so that you can say, okay, this is the issues that I'm seeing. And you want to not just talk to one person. You want to be able to use, I believe in focus groups, use focus groups. I believe in focus groups when it comes to my 9 to 5. I believe in focus groups when it comes to, prestige. Use focus groups, because that's going to give you a range of input where it's not just one person, but it's a group of people telling you how they feel. And look for the trends from that and figure out, are you identifying the right problem when it comes to your targeted client, the person that you want. Next, analyze the problem. How often and how severe? Because this is going to tell them how much they desperately want to use you. So let me see if I can put this into one of your issues. I want to use Vernell with traveling, because right now travel's on my brain. I don't know, I feel like I haven't been anywhere in a long time, I guess because part of that was I was pregnant, so, and I don't feel like I've traveled in a long time. So for me, I desperately have been saying, and Vernell Lewis can attest to this, that I need a vacation. I need to go away because I feel like I'm about to just lose it mentally, right? I need a vacation. I want to be somewhere pretty. Maybe because I was saying that when I was pregnant. I wanted to be on the beach. I wanted to be somewhere pretty. I just wanted to be around pretty things, and I wanted to just relax. So that's my issue, finding the time of really when I can go somewhere. And because I don't think I have the time, I just don't even think about it. And maybe that's what a lot of people do. It's like, well, I just live life. I just go to work, take care of the kids, take them to whatever practice they have, and don't try to fit in, especially because I am not a planner. So I don't fit in things that help me, like being relaxed on a beach. So that's a problem for me, because I'm going to continuously stress myself out if I don't just take the time to do an emotional reset or a mental reset, right? Analyze my problem. So how often, how severe? So for me, I would say for you it would be, how often are you not, are you going on vacation? So I'm not. I don't do a yearly vacation. I don't do a yearly getaway. I aspire to be like Vernell Lewis, who goes on vacation with her family once a year and then does a girlfriend's getaway once a year. I wish, I'm about to set, I told her, can I please get in on the next girlfriend's trip? Did I not say that? I just said that last week. Because I want to get away. I told you travel's been on my brain. This is why I'm using you. And how severe? It can be pretty severe because, as all of you know, when you are stressed out, your body will just give up on you. And either that's your body from your internal organs here, or if it's your brain up here, it will give out on you. For me, it's pretty severe because I have a lot that I'm doing. So if I'm not in the right mindset, then I'm not going to be in the right place to make the right decisions or be in a healthy state to be able to move forward with things that I want to do, because I want to, run the world. So it's severe for me for this problem if I continue not to take care of myself and go on vacation. You see how it's not a life-threatening thing, but if someone really feels strongly about it, it can be extremely important for them enough where they're willing to pay for something. So that's why I wanted to pick vacation, because I thought that was important. Develop multiple solutions. So then the question then becomes for you, so it turns from the question you ask your client, but then the question for you, what options are available for your clients? So what do you have now where I can kind of just look and peruse and figure out, because I don't have anything in mind right now, right? So I don't have a particular beach or a particular island that I can think of. I don't really know any prices than what I see on Orbitz. I don't really know, what relationships you have with resorts, what resorts you're recommending. So what options are available? Is there some type of package that you already have substantiated with certain resorts that you have relationships with, where it's like for this now we have this particular like summer getaway or summer weekend escape, or if you want to go to the Key, to Key West, you can for the weekend at this price. What do you have available for your clients? And then how easy is it for clients to identify which product or service fits their need? That's key, because let me tell you something. If I got to search and look and hunt and peck, I'm not. Bottom line. That's even how it is with shopping. If I got to search, peck, and look and find, I'm walking out. Because now I have a headache. So these are the things you want to think about when you are trying to solve problems for your clients. And then, so now I'm going to turn this over to you and ask you, what are you guys currently doing? I know we talked about some of the packages that you're doing, but are there any packages, for instance, for this side of the room, that you have thought about creating, that you are working on, or that you are going to roll out, that you feel will help solve your clients' problems?
Like I said, I've kind of been busy, but stuff is always going on in my brain. And I did talk to you and a few other people, Danielle, about doing some events, but I like our daytime events, but I want some more mix and mingle events to happen in the evening. Just so it's not so concentrated, so we're not doing the work of it, but at least we're networking and knowing people, like Tuesday said, to connect with. So hopefully I'll do that one of these days.
Good.
But also, just like I was just thinking as we sat here, also being more of a communications coach, not so much the PR, like Danielle has realized, like PR is cool, but it's not a guarantee all the time. But maybe if we're just coaching people to prepare them when they do those interviews, to be ready with how to answer questions and how to poise themselves in front of the camera, maybe just making some more engaging packages for that.
Okay.
Well, I already have packages for like different clients, whether it's a low-end or high-end clients, and also programs to go along with that. I kind of did the same thing as far as like not necessarily coaching, but like consultations. People don't want to necessarily hire me to do their event. Maybe they prefer to do it themselves. At least I can just give them ideas or kind of give them a direction as to where to go with certain things. As far as products, I mentioned before that I wanted to start doing rental services and things like that, so that way if people don't necessarily have the budget to hire me to do certain things, at least they can rent my products to use for their events, so I can make a profit off of that.
Yeah, because I think I was trying to rent something. I forgot what it was. Was it a tent? I think it was a tent. For my baby shower. I do remember that. I was like, can I rent a tent? You're like, I don't have it yet. So that's great, and that solves the problem too. Especially in cases like when I call a rental service and they tell me, oh, you don't need to reserve anything, and then I call the next day and they're like, oh, somebody called and cleared out the whole inventory. What am I gonna do? So, it's nice to know you can have backup vendors you can call. That's awesome. Any packages yet? We just upsells and stuff, so yeah. But those are things to think of, right? And then you're working on it for January, so we won't even bother you. Okay. I'm trying to, there we go. And so those are things you want to think of. How do you make even your packages attractive to your clients? So even how do you name them? How do you position it? How do you market this out? Some of us have static pages that live on our websites. Okay, well, have you done any Google Analytics to see how people are actually going to your website, clicking on that tab and looking at your packages? No, right? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. The answer is no. So we don't even know how many people are going to that page. Because if anyone would have asked me prior to this exercise and going through this journey, what do you have as far as packages, I would say, yeah, I have a list of services. I've had them for 2 years and they're on my website. And then if you would have asked me, well, how many people actually travel to your website, I would probably laugh like, because I know the traffic is not that great. So the question then becomes, how do you make your packages more attractive? And what do you do to get your packages out in front of people so that people can see and know that you have these things that are there? Think about, you can use anything from direct mailing to social media to just even using email campaigns either through MailChimp or Constant Contact. So those are different things that you can do, but you have to make it a campaign. You have to launch it. People have to know that you have these things available to them, because only having it static in one place isn't going to get you the traffic that you really want. So now you try it. So because we're wrapping up this session, and we'll probably go to 12:17 just because we didn't start till 10:17, what we'll do is we will have you go through it. So for all of you who received today the Dropbox link to the Excel spreadsheet, if you can go to that, just have that available. So when we move, I know, but I was like, what happened? So this morning, I sent out a Dropbox link to an Excel spreadsheet that just shows you what you're going to use for our time apart. So that when we have our call on June 29th, then you can talk about what you've planned. So you don't have to do any planning now. In the beginning, what I want you to do is just think about your packages. Think about maybe even revamping your packages. Danielle will tell you, she had packages too. And then by the time we got done, we completely revamped because we started looking at the clientele base. So think about that. Think about awesome names. And let me tell you something. This has been the part that has stressed me out the most, because I feel like I have big enough packages upon packages upon packages. And then I had to think of a signature package, and that signature package had to have a name that was going to be awesome. And I was like, I can't do this. Literally, I'm sitting there, and Tuesday went through the same thing with creating a name for her packages. I started sitting there and going through, what is it that I want people to get from this? What feeling do I want to resonate? What emotion do I want to tap into? And so I really took the time. So when we came down to the Pink Luxury Inc. Academy, that's really what it was about. It was about how do you become a luxury brand that institutes the same thing that more substantial brands that are luxury brands are doing. And it's a learning experience. And so that's why I had to pull these things together, and I had to use Word Hippo and other, things to get me to the Lux. Before it was Lux Inc. Academy, but then we have the Lux Inc. that already exists. So with all these different things that I had to go through just to get through the names, even from the packages, the Divapreneur package to the Socialite package to the Elite package, there's a feeling that I want someone to get when they realize the titles of the different packages. So, if you go from it being, you're a divapreneur, okay, because you're kind of hustling, you're kind of seeing what's going on. But when you're a socialite, you're part of a group. And there's different type of support that you get. And when you're part of the elite, there's a whole different level of support that you get. And there's an emotion that resonates to that. So those are the things that I want you to work on. And then you can pull up, for the week or now even as we're here, personally, work through that spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet basically says list your 3 different package offerings, and then on the other side of it, it's going to be, so when are you going to launch it? So you might already have something available, but when's your campaign going to start to let everybody know what you have going? And what are those campaign themes going to be? So it's not about just mapping out your packages, but I want to move you towards action, right? So what are your package? What are the product offerings? And for those of you that are online, if you don't have the Dropbox link, just send me a message, and then I'll make sure that I give that to you, because that'll be for our June 29th power call. So what you can do is then you put the amount. Then I want you to start thinking about how you're going to use the platforms. What platforms are you going to use? Is it going to be Facebook? Is it going to be email campaigns? If you don't have a strong contact list, maybe you don't use email campaigns. Think about those things. Using Constant Contact or MailChimp is great for analytics, because it tells me so I see who opened it, and so I send somebody a text like, can you please check your email? So I see who opens what. I can see who clicked onto links for what. I can see who forwards what, so that just gives me an idea of who's engaged. And that's what you want to be able to see as you start launching campaigns, who's engaged to your material. So you'll identify that, and then I want you to capture your leads. So how many people are going to come back to you and say they're interested? So your leads are the people who are interested, your clients are the ones that you're actually booked, that you've actually retained. So that's what I want you to be able to capture with that spreadsheet. So you're going to go for your products or your packages, the months or the time that you want to launch this out, the different platforms you're going to use to campaign it, and then I want you to track your leads and then who you actually retained. All right? Any questions at all about the spreadsheet? Okay, so I'm going to ask Vernell Lewis to share with us, just at your seat, this phenomenal story about the importance of knowing your client. Can I lead in and then you just take the torch or the baton? You let me start? Okay, because I'm so like, love the story, and you're like, whatever, it was just life, I don't understand. So,
We were talking, I guess last week maybe,
yes.
about client profile, and she was showing me, you know, the age and where do we live and where do they work. And I was smiling and she was showing me everything. And when she got done, I said the reason I'm smiling is because when my mom and I, we had a company called Pretty Natural. When we started that company, my mom being the salesperson, you know, in the company, she went through something similar. So we called it hair food. Most of us call it hair grease. But we sold it for $15. So you can't just put that anywhere because it's not gonna sell. It's just gonna collect dust and then we're gonna be out of business. So plus it had really good ingredients in it. We were all about natural products. Not natural. A lot of times people thought Pretty Natural maybe it was just for natural hair. It's for all types of hair, but it's natural products. So we needed to make sure that we went through a clientele profile to say, okay, who is our client? Where do they live? Where are they shopping? And so when she was going through that, I was smiling because that's what we did. So our products were sold in Whole Foods and many other health food stores, but throughout the United States. And we had a whole shelf full of products, and our shelf, we were constantly replenishing. So we did very well. And when we left, you have people that are, you know, black hair products that are now in Whole Foods, but they're there because of us. So we kind of were like the pioneers to say, hey, this is a product that is needed. You have the clientele to support this product. This is why you need, because we had to sell it to them. We had to sell them, why do we need this product and why should we give you a whole shelf for something that's specific to black hair? So we had to be able to sell that to them, and then we had to be able to sell it to our client. But because we knew that the client was shopping there, we knew it would sell. We knew it was a need that our client had. And when we went through this, economic downfall, Pretty Natural didn't suffer. Because even though it was $15 for some hair grease and $15 for a bottle of shampoo and $15 for the conditioner too, and then the oils were $30 a pop. People were still
oils.
Yeah, 2-ounce oils. People were still purchasing it because it was a need that they felt they needed, and they felt they wanted, and they thought they had to have. But had we not went through this clientele profile of who we're targeting, why we're targeting them, and where do they live, and what are their struggles, we would not have been successful. And now Whole Foods struggles to try to keep something on the shelf that mimics our product.
So I thought that was a great story, because it moves it from concept to, reality of what someone has experienced through that. So thank you, Vernell. When she said that, I was like, oh, I need you to share that with the team. But thank you so much for sharing that. And hopefully now you see even more the value of going through this exercise, of seeing how someone moved from, having an idea, doing this, and then being able to be sold in a franchise or a chain such as Whole Foods. So thank you for sharing that, and I hope that you take some time, you go through these. I'll send this out via email so you guys have this. I'll post it on the new website, but the new website is not live. So, but just so that you have this and you can go through this profile and you can spend some time thinking about really, who are these people? And when you go through it, don't go through it as far as like who you want them, like what you want them to think, or what you want their struggles to be. What are their real struggles? Don't make it up. Now, if you want to say, this is the person I want to target, that's different. Go there. But don't make up their struggles, because that's where you're gonna miss. Be sure. Research, Google it, see what blogs are saying around what small businesses are really struggling with if you don't want to go with the focus group. Do some things around what brands are struggling with being able to deal with their image and what they're putting out there from their image versus what they have maybe from their brand. There's so many different things you can look at. What are everyday Americans dealing with when it comes to struggles with when it comes to just taking time off and going on vacation? Or what is it that the LGBT is really struggling with when it comes to planning fabulous weddings that aren't over the top or puts them into the category of being a bridezilla? So those are the things you can think about. But you just have to figure out, where you need to go to get that information so that you can identify their real struggles, not what you want their struggles to be. And then start figuring out, if you're in the industry of public relations or communications, if you're in the industry of event planning, Google that too and see what people feel about your industry, because that's going to help you with your value proposition when you start having these conversations with people about why they need you. So thank you so much, ladies. I hope you found this to be valuable. Are there any questions that you have or any things that you want to add before you wrap up and close out? No? You guys are so camera shy. It's ridiculous.
Thank you, Nicole.
Yes, no worries.
Yes,
Thank you, ladies, for coming. Thank you, ladies, for being aligned with us. Have a blessed day. Bye.